Shalom, everybody out there. Yahuwah wants to do something through me, and I'm going to attempt to be obedient. And what he wants to do through me is just to begin reading his Torah, recording it, and putting it out there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll be reading Dabarim, chapter 29, verse 9 through chapter 31, verse 20. Then I'll be reading Yeshayahu 61, chapter 61, verse 10 through chapter 63, verse 9. Then I'll be reading from Lucas, chapter 24 in its entirety. Again, that's Dabarim, what is otherwise known as Deuteronomy 29, chapter 29, verse 9 through 31, verse 20. Then going over to Yeshayahu, which is otherwise known as Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 10 through chapter 63, verse 9. Then going on over to Lucas, which is commonly known as Luke, chapter 24 in its entirety. Beginning in Dabarim, chapter 29. And therefore you shall guard the words of this covenant and do them, so that you prosper in all that you do. All of you are standing today before Yahuwah, your Elohim, your leaders, your tribes, your elders, and your officers, all the men of Yasharal, your little ones, your wives, and your sojourner, who is in the midst of your camp. From the one who cuts your wood to the one who draws your water, so that you should enter into covenant with Yahuwah, your Elohim, and into his oath, which Yahuwah, your Elohim, makes with you today, in order to establish you today as a people for himself, and he himself be your Elohim, as he has spoken to you, and as he has sworn to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Jacob. And not with you alone, I am making this covenant and this oath, but with him who stands here with us today before Yahuwah, our Elohim, as well as with him who is not here with us today. For you know how we dwelt in the land of Mitzrayim, and how we passed through the nations which you passed through, and you saw their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which were with them. Lest there should be among you a man or Asha, or clan or tribe, whose heart turns away today from Yahuwah our Elohim, to go and serve the mighty ones of these nations, lest there should be among you a root bearing bitterness or wormwood. And it shall be, when he hears the words of this curse, that he should bless himself in his heart, saying, I have peace, though I walk in the stubbornness of my heart, in order to add drunkenness to thirst. Yahuwah would not forgive him, but rather the displeasure of Yahuwah and his jealousy shall burn against that man. And every curse that is written in this book shall settle on him, and Yahuwah shall blot out his name from under the Shamayim. And Yahuwah shall separate him for evil out of the tribes of Yasharal, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in this book of the Torah. And the generation to come of your children who rise up after you, and the foreigner who comes from a far land, shall say when they see the plagues of that land and the sickness which Yahuwah has sent unto it, all its land is sulfur, salt, and burning. It is not sown, nor does it bear, nor does any grass grow there. Like the overthrow of Sodom and Amorah, Admah and Sebayim, which Yahuwah overthrew in his displeasure and in his wrath. And all nations shall say, why has Yahuwah done so to this land? What does the heart of this great displeasure mean? And it shall be said, because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, which he made with them when he brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim. And they went and served other mighty ones and bowed themselves to them, mighty ones that did not know and that he had not given to them. Therefore, the displeasure of Yahuwah burned against this land to bring on it every curse that is written in this book. And Yahuwah uprooted them from their land in displeasure and in wrath and in great rage, and cast them into another land as it is today. The secret things belong to Yahuwah, our Elohim, but what is revealed belongs to us and to our children forever, to do all the words of this Torah. And it shall be, when all these words come upon you, the blessing and the curse which I have set before you, and you shall bring them back to your heart among all the Gentiles where Yahuwah your Elohim drives you, and shall turn back to Yahuwah your Elohim and obey his voice, according to all that I command you today, with all your heart and with all your being, you and your children. Then Yahuwah your Elohim shall turn back your captivity and shall have compassion on you. And he shall turn back and gather you from all the peoples where Yahuwah your Elohim has scattered you. This is where we stand at today. This is exactly what has happened. And it's still in effect right now. Yasharal has been scattered through all these nations. If any of you are driven out to the farthest parts under the Shamayim, from there Yahuwah your Elohim does gather you, and from there he does take you. And Yahuwah your Elohim shall bring you to the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. Who are your fathers? I know who my fathers are. My fathers are Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob. My fathers are not Calvin and Martin Luther and all those who started the Christian church. No, that's not my fathers. Those may be your fathers, but my fathers are Abraham, Yitzchak, and Jacob. To the land which your fathers possessed, and you shall possess it. And he shall do good to you and increase you more than your fathers. And Yahuwah your Elohim shall circumcise your heart and the heart of your seed to love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being, so that you might live. And Yahuwah your Elohim shall put all these curses on your enemies and on those who hate you, who persecuted you. And you shall turn back and obey the voice of Yahuwah and do all his commands, which I command you today. And Yahuwah your Elohim shall make you have excess in all the work of your hand, in the fruit of your body, and in the fruit of your livestock, and in the fruit of your ground for good. For Yahuwah turns back to rejoice over you for good, as he rejoiced over your fathers. If, key word, if you obey the voice of Yahuwah your Elohim to guard his command and his laws, which are written in this book of the Torah. If you turn back to Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your being, for this command, which I am commanding you today, is not too hard for you, nor is it far off. Is it not in the Shamaim to say, who shall ascend into Shamahim for us and bring it to us and cause us to hear it so that we do it? What he's saying is it something that we've got to have somebody go into where Yahuwah dwells to get this and bring it to us in order that we may be able to do it? No, you can do it on you. You can do it. You don't need anybody else. All you need is Yahuwah and his Ruach inside of you. You don't need anybody to go for you. You don't need anybody to interpret the word for you. The greatest teacher there is the Ruach HaKodesh. Nor is it beyond the sea to say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it to us and cause us to hear it so that we do it. For the word is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart. It's near us. It's near every single one of us. Nobody has excuse. If you don't have the scriptures, then you need to go get a copy of it and begin to read it and do it. Nobody has an excuse. It's not too hard for anybody. Yahuwah has provided everything that we need. For the word is very near you, in your mouth and in your heart to do it. See, I have set before you today life and good and death and evil. In that I am commanding you today to love Yahuwah, your Elohim, to walk in his ways and to guard his commands and his laws and his right ruling, and you shall live and increase. And Yahuwah, your Elohim, shall bless you in the land which you go to possess. But if your heart turns away and you do not obey, and shall be drawn away and shall bow down to other mighty ones and serve them, I have declared to you today that you shall certainly perish. I'm not saying this. I didn't say it. He said it. You shall not prolong your yomim, your days, in the land which you are passing over the Jordan to enter and possess. I have called the Shamaim and the Arets as witnesses today against you. I have set before you life and death, the blessing and the curse. Therefore you shall choose life so that you live, both you and your seed, to love Yahuwah your Elohim, to obey his voice, and to cling to him. For he is your life and the length of your yomim, your days, to dwell in the land which Yahuwah swore to your fathers, to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov, to give them. And Musha went and spoke these words to all Yasharal, and he said to them, I am 120 years old today. I am no longer able to go out and come in. And Yahuwah has said to me, you do not pass over this Jordan. Yahuwah, your Elohim himself is passing over before you. He shall destroy these nations from before you, and you possess them. Yahusha himself is passing over before you, as Yahuwah has spoken. And Yahuwah shall do to them as he did to Sicon and to Og, the sovereigns of the Amorites and their land, when he destroyed them. And Yahuwah shall give them over to you, and you shall do to them according to all the command which I have commanded you. Be strong and courageous, and do not fear, nor be afraid of them. For it is Yahuwah your Elohim who is going with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. And Musha called Yahusha and said to him before the eyes of Yasharal, all 12 tribes of Yasharal, be strong and courageous, for you are going with this people to the land which Yahuwah has sworn to their fathers to give them. And you are to let them inherit it. And it is Yahuwah who is going before you. He himself is with you. He does not fail you nor forsake you. Do not fear nor be discouraged. And Musha wrote this Torah and gave it to the priests, the sons of Lui, who bore the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and to all the elders of Yasharal. And Musha commanded them, saying, at the end of 7 years, at the appointed time, the year of release, at the festival of Sukkot, the set apart time. This is what we are to be observing. We're not to be observing Thanksgiving. We're not to be observing Halloween. We're not to be observing Christmas. We're not to be observing Easter. When all Yasharal comes to appear before Yahuwah, your Elohim, in the place which he chooses, read this Torah before all Yasharal in their hearing. Assemble the people, the men and the women and the little ones, and your sojourner who is within your gates, so that they hear, so that they learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim, and to guard, to do all the words of this Torah. And their children who have not known it should hear and learn to fear Yahuwah, your Elohim. As long as you live in the land, you are passing over the Yarden to possess. And Yahuwah said to Musha, see, the Yomim, the days have drawn near for you to die. Call Yahusha and present yourselves in the tent of meeting, so that I command him. And Musha and Yahusha, and note that name Yahusha, because that name here in this text is referring to who you think is Joshua. However, his name isn't Joshua because the letter J did not exist back then. But this is proof right here that the translation of that name, what they say is Joshua, is actually Yahusha. And it is also the name of the Son, our deliverer, the Lamb. And Musha and Yahusha went and presented themselves in the tent of meeting. And Yahuwah appeared at the tent in the column of a cloud. And the column of a cloud stood above the door of the tent. And Yahuwah said to Musha, see, you are about to sleep with your fathers, and this people shall rise and whore after the mighty ones of the strangers of the land, into the midst of which they shall enter, and forsake me, and break my covenant which I have made with them. Then my displeasure shall burn against them in that yom, in that day, and I shall forsake them and hide my face from them, and they shall be consumed, and many evils and distresses shall come upon them. And it shall be said in that yom, in that day, it is not because our Elohim is not in our midst that these evils have come upon us. And I shall certainly hide my face in that yom, in that day, because of all the evil which they have done. For they shall turn to other mighty ones. And now write down this song for yourselves and teach it to the children of Yasharal. Put it in their mouths so that this song is to me for a witness against the children of Yasharal. And I shall bring them to the land flowing with milk and honey, of which I swore to their fathers. And they shall eat and be satisfied and be fat. Then they shall turn to other mighty ones, and they shall serve them and scorn me and break my covenant. Yeshayahu 61 verse 10 through chapter 63 verse 9. For I, Yahuwah, love right ruling. I hate robbery for burnt offering, and I shall give their reward in truth, and make an everlasting covenant with them. And their seed shall be known among the Gentiles, and their offspring in the midst of the people. All who see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed Yahuwah has blessed. I greatly rejoice in Yahuwah, my being, exalts in my Elohim, for he has put garments of deliverance on me. He has covered me with the robe of righteousness, as a bridegroom decks himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorns herself with her jewels. For as the eretz brings forth its bud, as the garden causes the seed to shoot up, so the Master Yahuwah causes righteousness and praise to shoot up before all the nations. This is what Yahuwah wants to do with us, those who are observing Torah, those who are obeying Torah. He wants to show us off to all the nations, this whole entire wicked world. He wants to show us off, to flex us, as this generation says. He wants to flex us before the whole world. For Zion's sake, I am not silent, and for Jerusalem's sake, I do not rest until her righteousness goes forth as brightness, and her deliverance as a lamp that burns. And the nations shall see your righteousness, and all sovereigns your esteem. And you shall be called by a new name, which the mouth of Yahuwah designates. And you shall be a crown of comeliness in the hand of Yahuwah, and a royal headdress in the hand of your Elohim. No longer are you called forsaken, and no longer is your land called deserted, but you shall be called Kephzibah, and your land married. For Yahuwah shall delight in you, and your land be married. For as a young man marries a maiden, no homosexuality, as a young man marries a maiden, so shall your sons marry you. And as the bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your Elohim rejoice over you. I have set watchmen on your walls, and I am a watchman. I have set watchmen on your walls, O Yerushalayim, all the days and all the nights, continually, who are not silent. You who remember Yahuwah, give yourselves no rest, and give him no rest till he establishes and till he makes Yerushalayim a praise in the eretz. Yahuwah has sworn by his right hand and by the arm of his strength. No more do I give your grain to be food for your enemies, nor do sons of the foreigner drink your new wine, for which you have labored. But those gathering it shall eat it and praise Yahuwah, and those collecting it shall drink it in my set-apart courts. Pass through the gates. Prepare the way for the people. Build up the highway. Remove the stones, says Yahuwah. Lift up a banner for the peoples. Hallelujah, Yahuwah. See, Yahuwah has proclaimed to the end of the eretz. Say to the daughter of Zion, see, your deliverance has come. See, his reward is with him, and his work before him. And they shall be called the Kodesh people, the set-apart people, the redeemed of Yahuwah, the set-apart of this world, the set-apart from the traditions of men, the set-apart away from all of this wickedness and sin. And you shall be called sought out, a city not forsaken. Who is coming from Edom with garments of glowing colors from Batsra, who is robed in splendor, striding forward in the greatness of his strength? Is it I who speak in righteousness, mighty to deliver? Why is there red in your raiment, on your raiment, and your garments like one who treads in the winepress? I have trodden the winepress alone, and from the peoples no one was with me. And I trod them down in my displeasure, and I trampled them in my wrath. Their blood is sprinkled upon my garments, and I have defiled all my raiment. For a day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed has come. This is Yahuwah speaking. You can hear the tone in his voice. A wrath that's coming for all those who have broken his commandments and all those who disobey his set-apart Torah. And I looked, but there was none helping, and I was astonished that there was none upholding. So my own arm delivered for me, and my wrath upheld me, and I trod down peoples in my displeasure, and made them drunk in my wrath, and brought down their strength to Aretz. Let me recount the kindness of Yahuwah and the praises of Yahuwah according to all that Yahuwah has done for us, and the great goodness toward the house of Yasharal, which he has done for them, according to his compassion, and according to his many kindness. You know who he said that to? To the house of Yasharal. Are you in that house? They are my people, children who do not act falsely. And he became their deliverer. In all their distress, he was distressed. And the messenger of his presence delivered them. In his love and in his compassion, he redeemed them. Oh, not just to everybody. No, not his love, not just for any and everybody. This is for a specific people, the people who bear his name. In his love and in his compassion, he redeemed them, and he lifted them up and carried them all the days of old. Turning over to Lucas chapter 24. And on the first yom of the week, at early dawn, they came to the tomb, bringing the spices which they had prepared. And they found the stone rolled away from the tomb. And having entered, they did not find the body of the master, Yahusha. And it came to be, as they were perplexed about this, that see, two men stood by them in radiant garments. And becoming frightened and bowing their faces to the arrest, these said to them, why do you seek the living among the dead? He is not here, but he has been raised. Remember how he spoke to you when he was still in Galilee, saying, the son of Adam has to be delivered into the hands of sinners and be staked, and the third day rise again. And they remembered his words. Notice that I said stake, not the pagan symbol of the crooks, not that pagan symbol that you all have put up everywhere and have replaced the true symbol, saying the son of Adam has to be delivered into the hands of sinners and to be staked, and the third day rise again. And they remembered his words, and having returned from the tomb, they reported all this to the 11 and to all the rest. And it was Miriam from Magdala, and Joanna, and Miriam, the mother of Jacob, and the rest with them, who told this to the emissaries. And their words appeared to them to be nonsense, and they did not believe them. But Kepha arose and ran to the tomb, and stooping down, he saw the linen wrappings lying by themselves. And he went away home, marveling at what took place. And see, two of them were going that same day to a village called Emmaus, which was 12 kilometers from Jerusalem. And they were talking to each other of all this which had taken place. And it came to be, as they were talking and reasoning, that Yahusha himself drew near and went with them. But their eyes were restrained so that they did not know him. And he said to them, what are these words you are exchanging with each other as you are walking? And you are sad? And the one whose name was Cleophas answering said to him, are you the lone visitor in Jerusalem who does not know what took place in it these days? And he said to them, what? And they said to him, concerning Yahusha of Nazareth, who was a prophet, mighty in deed and word before Elohim and all the people, and how the chief priests and our rulers delivered him to be condemned to death and staked him. We, however, were expecting that it was he who was going to redeem Yasharal. But besides all this, today is the third day since these things took place. But certain women of ours who arrived at the tomb early also astonished us when they did not find his body. They came saying that they had also seen a vision of messengers who said he was alive. And some of those with us went to the tomb and found it, as also the women had said, but they did not see him. And he said to them, thoughtless ones, and slow of heart to believe in all that the prophets have spoken. Why would he still be saying this if Torah was done away with? Why would he be stressing what the prophets said if it was done away with? Was it not necessary for the Mashiach to suffer these and to enter into his esteem? And beginning at Musha and all the prophets, he was explaining to them all the scriptures, the things concerning himself. And they approached the village where they were going, and he seemed to be going on. But they urged him strongly, saying, stay with us, for it is toward evening, and the day has declined. And he went in to stay with them. And it came to be, when he sat at the table with them, having taken the bread, he blessed, and having broken, he was giving it to them. And their eyes were opened. Hallelujah, hallelujah. When he opens your eyes. And their eyes were open, and they recognized him, and he had disappeared from their sight. And they said to each other, was not our heart burning within us as he was speaking to us on the way? Hallelujah. We serve a living Mashiach, living Torah, not this dead pagan stuff that the masses follow. Dead. You know it's dead. You keep repeating the same thing over and over again, knowing it's dead. Beating the proverbial dead horse. And rising up at that same hour, they returned to Jerusalem and found the 11 and those who were with them gathered together, saying, the master was truly raised and has appeared to Shimon. And they related what took place on the way and how he was recognized by them at the breaking of bread. And as they were saying this, Yahusha himself stood in the midst of them and said to them, Shalom to you. And being startled and frightened, they thought they had seen a phantom. And he said to them,